What's up guys, my name is Brovex and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install exhaust wrap on your motorcycle. As you can see, there's a lot of rust and oxidation on this exhaust. My original plan was to paint it black, but I did some research and I found out there's a lot of benefits to exhaust wrap. Not only does the exhaust wrap look good, but it also helps maintain heat within the exhaust. As a result, less of it will radiate to you or other bike components. In addition to this, it also helps improve the exhaust scavenging effect, which basically means it improves the flow of intake and exhaust gases into and out of the engine, improving performance and fuel efficiency. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is soak your exhaust wrap in some warm water. The purpose of this step is to reduce the amount of fibers that get into the air, but more importantly, it makes the exhaust wrap more flexible, allowing for an easier install. Just be aware that the longer you soak it, the more dye leaves the exhaust wrap, making it discolored, so you want to do this only for a few minutes. We're now going to identify all the bolts and screws that attach the exhaust to the motorcycle so that we can remove the exhaust. Now before we get started with wrapping the exhaust, we want to get rid of some of this rust and corrosion. The reason we're doing this is because we don't want to trap it underneath the wrap, which can cause it to fail in the future. So what we're going to do is take some extra fine sandpaper and work our way around the entire exhaust. Here's what the finished product looked like. So now that we're ready to wrap the motorcycle exhaust, what we want to do is come up with a rough plan in our head of how we're going to do it. I knew I was going to start from the front header, make my way down to about the middle of the exhaust. Then I was going to cut the exhaust wrap off and work my way from the rear header all the way to the end, joining the two pieces at some point, making it look like one continuous wrap. Now the beginning of this process is the most important, and that's taking the wrap and securely fastening it onto the exhaust. You want to take your time here and make sure everything is tight, because that will decrease the likelihood that the wrap will become loose over time. And it also sets a great foundation for securely fastening the rest of the wrap onto the exhaust. Here is a close-up of the process. What you want to do to start is overlap the wrap about 1.5 times. Once you do that, you want to start angling it down, leaving a 1/2 inch gap between each layer. What I want you guys to notice is that I always have a finger on the wrap, maintaining the tension, which allows me to make everything really tight. If you do this properly, you'll get to a point where the wrap is securely fastened onto the exhaust even without a clamp. A quick tip I have for you guys is to unravel and set your exhaust wrap a couple of feet away from you. This will prevent it from twisting onto itself, making it more manageable to work with. Now as we continue to wrap the exhaust, what you'll notice is we'll get to parts of the exhaust that are more difficult to wrap, like where there's exhaust clamps or where two exhaust pipes meet. To deal with these areas, you want to wrap in an X pattern, which will give you the tightest fit and the best coverage. Another thing I did was I estimated how much exhaust wrap I needed to get to the halfway point of the exhaust. I cut it to that length, and the reason I did that was just to make the exhaust wrap more manageable to work with in this tight area. Once you finish wrapping the first part of your exhaust, what you want to do is zip tie one end, and the other end you're going to secure using the exhaust clamps that came with your kit. Just be aware that when you put the two ends of the exhaust clamps together, you won't be able to get them back apart. We're now going to use those same techniques to wrap the second part of the exhaust. As you'll see, this part was a little bit more challenging to wrap due to the fact that the exhaust was so curved. The hardest part, however, was joining the two pieces of wrap together. What I suggest you guys do is treat it as one piece, so hold the two pieces of wrap together and wrap them as if they were one. It's going to take you a couple of tries to get it secure and tight, but don't get discouraged. Here's our finished product. So the last thing you want to do is reinstall the exhaust back onto your motorcycle. What you'll notice when you turn it on is that the exhaust wrap is going to start smoking, just like this. Now this is completely normal. The smokiness is the water evaporating from the exhaust wrap. What you might notice is that there's a harsh smell coming from the exhaust wrap as well. All of this will go away after a couple of rides. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or want to see more videos like this, just leave it in the comment section below and I'll be sure to answer. This is Brovex. Thanks for watching.